I can't open mine.
All right, you guys, welcome to the Blab. This is all about Zen Project 8, weight loss, and I'm here with Sharon Juola and JoJo Williams. They are both Ruby directors inside of Jeunesse Global, rocking. Seriously, they are the image, the heart, the soul of Zen Body. I have learned so much from them, Zen Project 8, and I just wanted to give them a moment to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about like their weight loss journey and how far they have come in this project. So Sharon, JoJo, whoever wants to take that first.
I love you. Hi, I'm JoJo, and this is one of my best friends, soul sisters, Sharon, and I happen to be at her house right now in Flagstaff visiting for a few weeks. We just got in from a Las Vegas convention and had an amazing trip with a whole bunch of people that we love, but we had a really intimate experience with 10 women from our team where we rented a house with a pool and we had a big giant party, and then I kicked everybody out. Long story. Anyways, so I'm here in Flagstaff, Arizona, visiting the high desert mountains, hanging out with my soul sister, rocking it out. We have been going hardcore on detox. And we're actually relaunching another detox week, going even more serious about it on Monday with another group of us who are going to be doing detox. I'm really honored to be here with you, Cheryl Coco, and with all of you.
Thank you
all so much. Sharon.
All right. So I started this journey actually in November. Okay. So November is when Mark McDonald launched Zen Project 8. He told us what was coming, and he invited everybody who was there, all the distributors and such that were already in Jeunesse, to be a part of the beta launch. So immediately when I got home from that conference last November, I looked up his program, how it was going to work, and I started it on November 20th. So that's what we're going to talk about today, about that experience going through the beta launch. And now we have finally, at the convention in Las Vegas, as JoJo was just talking about, we finally launched the entire program in its conclusion. So this is the grand opening, the grand launch. We're all starting to run for an 8-week run on Monday. And we just wanted to get on this blab. Cheryl invited us to do this just to answer some questions, to talk about how this works. We've both had a lot of great results just being a part of the beta launch, which was, the pre-launch essentially. From about November 20th to the beginning of March, I had lost almost 40 pounds, tons of inches. My before and after pictures all over the place at this point, which is awesome. I'm so excited about it. And JoJo.
I guess I was supposed to do all that. I was supposed to. Yeah. I was supposed to do that. I've lost. I'm like literally a couple ounces away from 75 pounds at my last weigh-in last Monday.
Yeah.
So excited. Awesome. I started in November as well. There was a pivotal moment for me in Orlando when Mark McDonald on stage, celebrity nutritionist who we get coaching from. And he really made me realize how much Jeunesse is not promoting a diet. This is a lifestyle. We're not just taking products. These products that we're going to share with you, they're great tools to help us stay on task of eating 5 meals a day, putting proper nutrition, proper balance in our body. We're going to go over all of that. And aside from the weight loss, I've gotten my cholesterol down into the normal range, out of the danger range.
Amazing.
I can walk a little further every day. My skin feels great. Overall, I'm just amazed. I'm so blown away at little things, like I can cross my legs now when I sit down or sit with them together, which is really cool for me. So this has been a journey that has done more than just drop pounds. What I've gained in this has been amazing. Yeah.
I want to take a second and come back and say, I was with JoJo, and there was this moment that you ever just never forget. I have a lot of moments with JoJo that I'll never forget, but I specifically remember this moment. I remember this moment, my own, when I decided to lose weight, but it's a decision. And JoJo had specifically set out and made this amazing decision. You ever just see like the light in somebody, like their aura? I mean, it was something that I was just like, oh man, I'm about to watch a life change, and I've just noticed the first moment of it, and it was her journey, but I felt special that she told me, and
Yes.
I will just never forget it. And look at how far you've come from. Do you remember that specific moment in Orlando where you were like, I'm going to rock this, and that's just it, and I've made a decision, and thank you very much.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh, that moment literally changed my life. I had this vision, and I knew, like, I could see my future so vividly, so strong in those 6 minutes that I stood, and I just went around the room in the first couple rows of our team, grabbing people, going, I'm going to do this. I'm going to win Zen Body. And whether I win or not, doesn't matter. I'm winning. Like, I'm truly winning. It was a really defining moment. We've all had those moments in our life, right? Like, where we know that switch goes off, that we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
And you know what's so cool? So JoJo and I were just talking, I think it was yesterday, maybe today, about we were talking about that moment when Zen was launched in Orlando, and all of us are there. Our team was all sitting together, and we were all like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. JoJo was fired up, and she and I were remembering that moment, and what we were saying was, holy crap, wouldn't it be cool to go back? It was just a couple months ago, but wouldn't it be cool to go back and predict that by March, she would have lost almost 80 pounds. I would have lost almost 40 pounds. Like, we were just talking about that.
We were, because I remember the very first week, I only lost 4 pounds. Now, I've done diets in the past. I've even done diets that I've promoted publicly. And so I've been really cautious about, for one, doing a diet again. I was in that space where I didn't want to do any more diets, you guys. I was sick of it. And I was actually 3 months into getting approved for gastric bypass. I was at a level of desperation that I was going to get gastric bypass. And so I totally forgot what we were talking about.
That's your moment.
Oh yeah. The first week I was disappointed that I'd only lost 4 pounds, because in previous diets where I was doing meal replacement, I was only eating 1 meal a day, drinking 2 toxic shakes, and I lost like 10 pounds my first week. So that's what I anticipated losing on this. I was like, ooh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, and I lost 4. And I remember calling up a couple of my closest friends going, I'm so disappointed. Like, I can't believe, because I had courageously, very afraid, gotten on camera and weighed in at 368 pounds. So I was devastated, like, oh my gosh, I told the world I weigh 368 pounds. That's okay, because I'll weigh 358 next week, right? And I lost 4 pounds. So I was a little disappointed. What I didn't understand is that it took me personally a few weeks for my metabolism to kick back in, because I've done some damage to my metabolism, and I'd had thyroid and liver issues and stuff. I had actually cured non-alcoholic fatty liver disease on my own with an all-natural diet. And just, my health, as we get older, it gets harder to lose weight, right? And it never occurred to me that I would be sitting here 4 months later, 25 pounds away from a 100-pound loss.
Dude, it's awesome. So cool.
I have something that I want to talk to you guys about that I think makes Zen different. And you never really know who's stalking you, but you guys pretty much know that I do. And, they're sitting, I just want you guys who are watching to take this moment in and understand that they're both sitting in the same room right now, friends, through a company, a network marketing company, through Jeunesse Global. It's bigger than that. They were exercising in the park the other day. And I think people think that I'm hard, but it almost brought me to tears, because I remember being alone in the first moments of deciding, hey, and, I was standing in the mirror with somebody. I'm not going to mention any names because that's just rude. But I said, I'm done. And I had this moment. And I think when you were telling me in Orlando, I was so proud, because when I said that to somebody, they gave me the, yeah, right. Sure you are. And the difference that Zen gives us is that community. Do you guys agree with it? Like, they're sitting in the same room, we're exercising, but it's also so much about the community that it almost broke my heart when I hate saying broke my heart, but it almost broke my heart when I started that. If people thought I was a joke, I'm almost going to cry, but people thought I was a joke when I started, and to know that people are there, like really there in that group. I'm watching it every day. That's when the difference is. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Big time.
Big time. In fact, well, first of all, let me say that you're not a joke, but I understand those feelings. I think we can all resonate with that fear and that feeling of who do I think I am. The industry itself, definitely anybody, no matter what company you're in, you can feel that sense of community. I think that's one of the things I love so much about this industry. What I think makes our community in Zen Body very unique. Very unique. I mean, we already have an amazing community in Jeunesse and amazing family in the industry. But what makes this very unique is that we're sharing ourselves on a very vulnerable level within that community. We're bearing our souls. And what really is being promoted here is loving ourselves right now. Loving ourselves now. You know, I love when Mark and Kasaya do those hangouts and Mark gets on. He said, look, this is not about who loses the most weight, how much weight you lose. This is about 1% at a time. This is about loving ourselves now. And that's something that I can resonate so deeply with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's so much more difficult when you have to deal with what Cheryl dealt with. When she decided she was going to do it alone without a community movement backing her, and she gets negativity thrown at her. Yeah, right. You're not going to do anything. Blah. You know what I mean? All that crap is not present here. You know, when you decide to get in with Zen, you've got, I mean, the corporate group, once you sign up as a distributor, we put you in the corporate group, has 7,000 people in it. It's a huge community, and everybody in that community is like, has your back, you know, giving you ideas, giving you motivation, inspiration, and cheering you on for the small milestones, for the big milestones. You know, it's this whole community movement. It's not just about a diet. And I love that it's not just about a diet. It's a movement. And that movement is centered on this huge community.
And return to nutrition, right? Cheryl, return to nutrition, to really developing a relationship with the food that we put into our body, to understanding how our body works, to understanding how our blood sugar works, to understanding how our metabolism works. And it's power. It's power to know, to make that connection between our food and our body.
Yeah.
And that group is hopping, man. There's so much activity in there and so much just positive, flowing love. It's amazing to be a part of that.
Right? When you feel like you're cooking with people, when you feel like your recipes are with people, when you feel like you're getting high fives from people, like you put, I did it actually, everybody's like, woo, way to go, way to go. I want to kind of get into the first phase of Zen Project 8, which is the detox phase. And Sharon, if you could just kind of share a little bit. I know you have a specific story here where this is a story about support and about the detox phase, about, you know, you talking to JoJo, and this is something that I think makes a difference along a little bit about the detox program.
Totally. So the way this program works, if you aren't familiar with Zen Project 8 at all, there's 3 phases in this program. And the first phase is the detox phase. So the detox phase lasts a week. But if you have more than 50 pounds to lose, if you smoke cigarettes, or if you drink more than 2 to 3 glasses of alcohol a day or a week, you should do it for 2 weeks. So I was like, all right, 2 weeks worth of detox. I'm going to do this. The most important part of detox and starting this program is planning. Okay, is getting the detox brochure, which you can print up in the interest group, or you will get it in print with your package when you order, and really understanding how the system works. So when I started learning about it, I got really overwhelmed and I got really scared. To be completely honest, I got really freaked out because I had never done anything like this before. I had been my size for 15 years, at least 10 years, but about 15 years, and never really invested in doing something completely different, completely new. And as Mark McDonald says, you know, it's like bringing your car in to get an oil change, right? If your car needs more oil, you don't just continue to put more oil in. You got to change that filter. You got to get the old stuff out. And that's what the detox is about. And it works. It's amazing. For me, it was like, holy moly. I lost a lot of weight just during that detox phase. But before even getting into it, it was hard. You know, it takes a lot of planning. The hardest part about doing something different is being prepared. If you're prepared and you have a plan going into detox, then you will succeed. It's just a matter of bearing down and preparing. And when I was going through that process, I called JoJo on the phone at one point, crying.
Yeah.
JoJo, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I don't know what I'm going to eat. Like, I usually get a burrito when I pick my son up after school, and I'm not going to be able to do that. What am I going to do? And, you know, I was upset. It was scary. But I learned that if you just prepare, if you just get into that booklet and prepare your week ahead of time, it's smooth sailing. And it was, and that's what I found. And I was like, holy crap, most people during the detox week, and this isn't guaranteed or anything like that, but most people do lose between 5 and 10 pounds the very first week.
I lost 9.5.
Yeah.
And so that's really a testimony, because I was 6 weeks into really doing my own macros, using my MyFitnessPal, the Zen Body products, what I knew kind of about Mark's plan, doing it myself without the full instruction of the beta. So I was 6 weeks in and I'd already lost 30 something pounds. And then I started detox week on January 4th with the rest of the people who did the beta launch, like 500 of us. And so I was thinking, oh man, I'm not going to lose any weight. Like, I've been doing this Zen Body thing without, doing it completely to a T, doing the best of what I knew how to do for 6 weeks now. And I lost 9.5 pounds.
Heck yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
works. It's amazing. Detox rocks.
Hey,
it's not about eating clean.
To all that
We really
toxins that are stored in our cells and our tissue and our brain, and like the stuff that Mark recommends during detox, the vitamin supplements that we take. I'm really excited because we now have the Zen Prime that you take detox, which has great things in it, like milk thistle. And a dandelion, and a combination of amazing herbs and vitamins that actually promote the release of this. He also, suggests things like, because we don't need any salt, suggests things like cilantro, ginger, garlic. These are all really detoxing herbs. Cilantro actually chelates the heavy metals out of your body and breaks the brain barrier in doing so. And so the recommendations, the food plan, the menus, the diet are all geared to help you have success.
Yeah.
Hey, JoJo, me and JoJo, we have a cool relationship like this. So that's the person I'm going to choose to ask this question. We have a question from Ronnie. I'm going straight to JoJo with this one because, I love you. She says, does the detox week keep you from getting out? I'm always worried about not being close to a bathroom. That's keeping it real.
Okay, first of all, you looked really cute reading that. Cajones. That was good. So you are absolutely going to eliminate a lot of crap during detox week. I'm just going to keep it real. My experience, here's what you need. Here's other things you need to know about detox process. And I didn't have any instances like where I couldn't leave the house, but there were a couple days where I felt like I had the flu and I had muscle aches and body aches. And that's all part of those toxins passing through your intestinal tract. Some of them are reabsorbed. And so that's where that sick feeling comes in. I knew to expect that. So I knew I wasn't contagious or anything like that. I didn't need to worry about that. And I was able to just allow that process. And when I was feeling those feelings, to drink a ton of lemon water and cucumber water and just really alkalize my body and help that flushing process take place. Okay. I'm real big on drinking alkaline water. So cucumbers and lemon are my friend, do a lot of that. So you're gonna
water.
I included psyllium husks, which Mark McDonald's recommends. It's a fiber. It's really great during detox week. I included them in my shake. The previous shake that we were using didn't keep me full for 3 hours anyway, so I would use psyllium husks to keep me full for those 3 hours. The new shake keeps me full for 3 hours. I don't need the husks, but I still use them a couple days a week to help with that elimination process. And somehow that fiber helped things not be a little too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
Too explosive.
What I always suggest too with this is when you start the detox product is start it on the weekend, just so you can see how your body.
Good tip.
Yeah, just so that you can see, so that you can be in a comfortable environment and see like what the timing is. Like I would take the detox products at night before I go to sleep, and I'd wake up and detox.
or if you're off on the weekends, start on a Thursday or Friday night. Right? So that your toughest days are through the weekend. Here's the cool part. Yeah, you're going to go through a little bit of stuff. But you know what? You've been eating a bunch of bad stuff. Yeah. We put all this junk and toxins into our body. You know, Mark really recommends eating organic and putting good, healthy foods into your body. And I live by that. I've been eating organic for years as it is. So I'm very mindful of that. Anyways, I love that he recommends all this. So know this. Once you get through this process, you are going to feel so good.
Yeah.
And
big time.
Big time. Man, oh man, oh man. I had a major sugar addiction, like hardcore. I would lay in bed at night and I would be almost completely asleep. And there would be this little voice in my head going, sugar. Like literally, you know, we don't buy junk in our house. Me and my sister and the kids, we don't buy our kids junk. So the best I got is like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or some healthy cereal, some organic cereal. Or once in a while we get them, I'd be sneaking their bars, whatever. You know, like sugar was a huge addiction for me. The Zen Shake really helped me. The Zen Fit we're drinking right now helped me. And it was only after the first 30 days of kicking that addiction. Let me tell you what, the couple times that I have said, you know what, I'm going to eat whatever I want and like put some junk in my mouth.
Yeah.
I felt so horrible. And I realized that's how I felt every day. Like I lived like that. So I didn't regret or feel guilt over the experience of eating it again. I was actually excited that I got to revisit the mindset and the physical body that I lived in every single day of my life for years. So you can make it through detox. You deserve to make it through detox. And when you get past that, there's another thing that's going to happen. Mental clarity, energy, just overall mood improvement. When you get those toxins and heavy metals and just crap out of your body and your body starts to kick in and function as intended and just your body is just this machine that's just going, you feel good. You feel good. And then you realize like, I haven't felt good in years. I haven't felt this good since I was a child.
When I had started detox too, before that, I was doing a diet. I was trying to cut out all white products and I was counting macros and nothing was working. I wasn't losing any weight. And this was months of cutting out sugar and carbs like pasta and white rice and things like that. And nothing was happening. And I was like, what is wrong with me? It's because that doing a detox, I was so frustrated because I had been trying to lose weight for a long time before I started this. And I wasn't losing any weight. And JoJo knows about it. I was talking to her about it.
She kept telling me, like, I don't understand. I'm like, girl, you're basically going on a South Beach or a paleo diet.
Yeah.
And this homostasis diet. And hey, look, I'm not down to anybody who's doing what they're doing, but that's not healthy.
Yeah.
And
it didn't work for me. So until I did detox. Detox also resets your metabolism. I learned that, really clearly, because once I got through that detox week, I was losing weight and then I continued to lose weight. It was like my whole metabolism was reset. So that detox is really important. Just power through it. It's only 1 week, only 2 weeks at the most. Just stick to it. Get rid of all the salt, get rid of all the sugar, and just stick to the detox plan.
Do you guys have a favorite meal that you did during detox, or something favorite that you
do now?
Enjoyed?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do have a favorite one. We're both thinking about it right now.
Oh yeah, because we had it. So, these bison sausages that I make that are so yummy. And then we do the PFC pancakes, and then we roll up the little bison.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. You have that on your menu, right, JoJo? Yeah.
My other favorite is these Mediterranean almost like a kebab made with ground turkey, grated zucchini, onions, garlic, cilantro. It's so good. And those Mediterranean kebabs, you can put them in a lettuce wrap. You can put them on top of salads. You can put them on top of like stir-fried vegetables, that type of thing. So that's another one of my favorite detox
Bison is a very lean meat. I saw your comment, Ronnie. Bison is a very lean meat. And especially during the detox phase, you only want to consume lean meats. So, and I think I should mention that this diet can work for vegetarians as well. It absolutely can. We're actually being interviewed by a vegetarian right now. Yeah. And that's actually a direction I'll probably be heading more into for my own reasons. I've been vegan in the past, but so this plan can still work, with egg whites and Greek yogurt and, finding your protein from sources like hemp and so forth. Yeah. So if you're vegetarian, then you can still make this work.
Yeah, you could totally make it work as a vegetarian. No, I think it's great, like, when you're sharing your like I was sharing recipes with Sharon and she's like, that looks really good. And I'm like,
I'm like, we need to make that eggs on top of the spinach.
Yep.
Well, something you may not know about me, Cheryl, is my relationship with chickpeas.
Oh, do you have a relationship?
I love it. Like I love my pink bathrobe.
Oh, me too.
Or not during detox.
During detox, but yeah, like
starch.
Yeah, but yeah. Do you exercise during detox?
No.
And there's a good reason for that. When you're exercising, the whole point of detox is to flush, and so we want to alleviate all inflammation in our body. Yeah. So exercising can cause inflammation, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just not beneficial to detox. Yeah. So you can just chill, take a break from exercise, get your detox on.
Yep.
And focus on that.
Like you though, Cheryl, I know you can run, like you run 5 miles in a day. Yeah. So you wouldn't want to do that during detox, but you can walk. You know what I mean? You can do.
Yeah, if it's going to throw you off to that point, you know what I mean? You can still do some stuff.
Yeah, like, how we were talking about tailoring it around whatever you already do, if you're already, like, I know 5 to 10 miles usually is my thing. So, but to get out and walk with the kids or do something like that is.
You can do that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to cater things a little bit. The most important thing is the balancing of the proper protein, fat, and carbs. And making sure that you're feeding your body every 2 to 3 hours.
Yep.
You get hungry. So in the beginning, when you're resetting your metabolism, there's going to be days where you're hungry an hour and a half later and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait another hour and a half. Like, I'm hungry now. Eat your next meal. Mm-hmm. Allow your body to set in. You've been starving your body. And your body's in total survival mode. You have 2 genes. You have a fat burning gene and a fat storing gene. And it's kind of like a toggle switch, right? So it's either on one or the other. It doesn't jump back and forth. It's on one or the other. So if you've been getting up in the morning like I did, not eating until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, drinking coffee, stuff like that, and just munching here and there, I was in full survival mode. So that toggle switch was on store fat. We're starving. We don't know when this woman is going to feed us again. Mm-hmm. We are going to store a carrot. She gave us a carrot. Store it as fat. Put it in the fat. Put it as fat, So it takes a minute to reset that and to switch that over to the fat burning cycle.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Like when it just reminds me of being younger or like a teenager when you're in high school or something like that. Like,
and you know what I saw that Ronnie asked, right? We didn't. We only ate and we could have lived off things in packages, especially being born into this time in history where everything is processed, everything comes in a package, everything is convenient. We're so disconnected from our relationship with growing, harvesting, preparing. Like we just don't have that relationship with food and understand that vegetables are life, fruit is life. We don't understand that there's a nutrition impact in the food that we eat. We just want to get full, right? So we're depriving our body, and there's so many deficiencies taking place in the world, and of magnesium, of D3, of all the things that our body needs to thrive. And this is where your body goes berserk. Free radicals come in, cancer starts, health conditions, diabetes. We have more diabetes today than ever before, and I'm not saying this plan cures. I'm saying this is the beginning, putting the proper stuff in your body and really addressing that. You know what I mean? Bronnie had asked if we have different directions for men versus women. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Men have a different metabolism.
Let's talk about the eating plan, the way it works. So the way this plan works is there's a plan for women and a plan for men. It's very similar, but essentially the way it breaks down is you want to have a protein, a fat, and a carb every 3 hours. Every 3 hours, okay? And if you don't have time to sit down and eat a already prepared meal, then have a shake. But essentially how it works is you want 3 ounces of protein, 3 ounces of carbs.
For women.
And a half a tablespoon of fat, essentially that's for women. And the way we make this even more simple is you want to have a fistful of carbs or a palm size piece of protein and a thumb size bit of fat with every meal. For men, you double it, essentially. It's like 2 fists of carbs, 2 palms, and like your entire thumb all the way down to here for men. So it is a slightly different program for men and women. And the other thing that goes along with that is, as we sort of talked about before, there's a detox phase, there's an ignite phase, and then there's a thrive phase, and there's different foods that you should eat during each of those phases. So you have to pay attention to that too. And again, all of this is posted in our interest group. It's posted in the corporate group. And when you order your Transform package, you get a full brochure that explains exactly which foods you can eat during which parts of the plan.
One of the biggest myths that we've been told is that fat is bad. And we turned into a fat-free society. Everything says fat-free, fat-free. And that has really thrown us off because we need fat. Every cell in our body is made up of fat and protein. Fat is so important. It's important to know what good fats are, like avocado and raw nuts. I always go with raw rather than toasted because raw nuts are alkaline. Roasted nuts are acidic. So it's good to know these type of things. Good pure olive oils, coconut oils, and look at the size of your thumb. Look at the size of your thumb and measure your fat according to that. It looks more like a tablespoon to me than a half a tablespoon, but look at your thumb and measure it on that because your body size your hand's gonna render the amount that you want. But the key to this program is not getting caught up in exactly specifically like calories. You don't want to turn into some, the whole thing is developing an ease and a relationship with your food and balancing that. And the purpose of the balance is your blood sugar.
Yeah.
And
blood
so
sugar. Go ahead.
Ronnie had asked, is one shake enough for men? Here's the thing with that is one shake is enough, but if you get hungry on this plan, even if you're in the detox phase, no matter what phase you're in, it's okay to eat. It's okay to eat. If the point of this plan is to never be hungry, like starving, like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. You should never feel that way. But you should also never feel, oh my gosh, I'm so full. It should be this constant equilibrium of satisfied. I'm satisfied. So if you feel hungry, go ahead and eat. Just make sure that you're not grabbing just an apple because that's just carb. Make sure every single thing you eat is a balance of carbs, fat, and protein.
Right.
And that's what puts your body in homeostasis.
And for men, because men get more than us, you could actually do a blender shake, use the 1 scoop of protein, and then add a little bit more protein, fat, and carb to the diet. Add some hemp seeds, some frozen berries. You know what I mean? So add a handful of spinach. You could add a couple other things to it. And, with the shake with men, if they're hungry, like she said, eat. I'm going to channel my inner Mark McDonald right now with you guys. Let's all say it together. Food is my friend.
Food's your friend.
Food is your friend.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about this plan. I swear I'm eating more now than I ever have in my entire life. It's amazing.
For sure. Yeah. I just kind of want to throw some things in there. I was talking to Amanda, who is a great resource for who just joined. Hi, Amanda. Yeah. So, being a vegetarian on here, you want to keep it's like 35, 35, 30, the protein, fat, and carb, how you balance it out. Well, as a vegetarian, we kind of have different sets. There's proteins. You want to get proteins that have full proteins, like quinoa is a full protein, soy, seaweed, beans, black beans, chickpeas, cashews, pumpkin seeds, cauliflower, greens, pistachios, kasha, all of those. But in the midst of all of this, what it is to adequately, you want to watch the carb with the protein. So as a vegetarian, here a lot of our sources of protein are high in carbs. So to kind of balance that out is something that is definitely possible, like using the egg, to find that balance.
And you know what, with soy, it's a real personal choice. I know Mark recommends a lot against soy because of the impacts that it has on your thyroid, the impacts that it has on your ability to burn fat. I personally stay away from soy. Yep. I can understand the challenge for a vegan or vegetarian diet and how soy comes in handy. My advice is if you are going to use soy, use it in its natural state. Make sure it's completely organic. Yep. You can use things that have a little bit of soy lecithin in it. That's a different process, but soy itself, I just would be a little careful with that.
The main thing too, for if you're a vegetarian or vegan, is essentially, if you really get technical about this program, it's really about counting macros. It's really about balancing the macros. And you can see this on the back of the box of anything you buy, or, it's about counting and making sure that especially your proteins and your carbs are within 5 or 10 milligrams of each other. So if you're having a meal that has 20 carbs in it, your proteins should be at least 10, really maybe 15. That's what you want to balance so that they're very, very close in their content.
My meals, so in the beginning for me to really understand the concept of macros, I used my Fitness Pal to track it. And I wouldn't eat anything without putting it into my Fitness Pal. And then I got to the point where I knew exactly what I was doing. And I fluctuate usually in my meals around 24, 10, 24. You know what I mean? Going up and down, give or take 4 either way, right? And so 24 protein, around 10 fat, around 24 carbohydrates.
Yep.
Right.
And about 300 calories a meal is what that comes up to.
For sure.
5 meals a day, and it's crazy to me because my doctors have told me in the past, we're going to put you on a 1,500 calorie a day diet. And I'm like, I'm going to starve. I'm going to starve. But here's why I thought that, because in the past, when I had tried to eat 1,500 calories, I still was eating nutrition lacking food. There was no nutrient dense food in the diet. I was eating a lot of the crap. I have done the diets where they send you the prepackaged food. There's no nutritional. There's nothing left present in there. And I'm heating that food up in the microwave. I'm changing the molecular structure of it. So I wasn't taking in live food. I wasn't taking in nutrients. I wasn't preparing meals. Now, I know that those of you listening may be all, how am I going to eat 5 meals a day? That's a lot. Well, 2 of our meals are shakes. That makes it a heck of a lot easier. We food prep once a week. We spend a couple hours on Saturday or Sunday cooking up. So for me personally, I food prep 2 meals for me. So I'm going to food prep 14 meals, right? And so when we do it together, it's 28 meals that we food prep. And so we'll make something we're going to have for what you would call your lunch meal, your dinner meal, and then we cook our breakfast every morning. So we only have to cook 1 meal a day, prepare 2 shakes a day, and then reheat 2 prepared meals. And we generally reheat everything in a pan. The way we food prep, we really don't have to, not everything needs to be heated. We eat a lot of stuff, a lot of just fresh, alive. I'd say we're about 75% raw.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yep. That's the way to go. Do your food prep. Plan out your meals. Ronnie made the comment, whenever things weren't planned in advance, that's when you slip off the program. And that's so true. That's what I've found is if you aren't planning, you're going to fail. So plan.
Right. You know, I also kind of want to bring up one of the things about Zen that I've learned over the past few days. And, you know, I've used Zen for weight loss or Zen Body for weight loss for a while, but here, you can tailor it to something different. So, you know, when you're doing your PFC, for me as an athlete, like I'm changing the protein to more 40% protein, 30, you know, like to make sure that here I want to do like a bikini competition or a fitness competition. So I'm trying to get more muscle and things like that. So it doesn't just have to be about weight loss, but about changing your
muscle,
what you want in your body. You know, we all want different things, different outcomes. We're all here doing the same program, but with a different outlook in mind. It's you know, at first mine was all about how much weight am I going to lose? Now it's how much muscle am I going to put on? What kind of different body am I going to have right now? Like, you know, I want this athletic build and I want to tailor it to something different. So if you read close enough into the system, you'll see like it says it says like, you know, there are slight changes for athletes: 40% protein, 30% carb, and 30% fat. No, the protein intake for me is just going to be a little bit different, but the workouts for me are a little bit different.
You know what? You bring up such a good point, Cheryl, too, that I really like to express to people is not everybody has like 80 pounds they need to lose like I did. You know what I mean? And that's okay. You're hearing my story because I'm the one speaking it, because maybe I'm the one that invited you here, you know, but that's not everybody's story. And some of the most shocking before and after pictures in our Zen Project 8 group, to me, are the ones where someone didn't lose any weight. They didn't need to lose weight, but they got cut. You know, all this, you know, their before picture is, to me, amazing. Their after picture is even more amazing because, you know, they went from to me, what I want my after to look like, but they got cut. You know, they have these strong lines. You can see more muscle definition, you know, more abs, you know, that kind of thing. There's a lot of really great before and after pictures of people who did just the 8-week run and got cut. It's amazing.
And you know what's really unique and special about this program and the community? I have to keep going back to the community, is that we celebrate the off-scale victories here.
Yes.
Yeah.
We really celebrate the off-scale victories, the things, what are you gaining? And so it's not so much a focus on how much weight we lose. It's how much are we gaining? What is happening? How much is our life improving? And, you know, everybody is sharing that and opening up, and just the things about your life that you didn't realize. Little things like my grandchildren can now sit on my lap. I have a lap dog who can now actually lay across my lap. When I get into the car, the steering wheel doesn't touch my stomach anymore.
Airplane. The airplane impacted me.
You could see it. I can see all of my thighs. I used to look down and I would just see my knees. You know what I mean? Those are the off-scale victories. Being able to, sleeping better, breathing better, you know, just your life improving, these off-scale victories that that we celebrate and we encourage. And those are the things, honestly, that are going to keep us going. Those are the things that make us not want to give up, because our life is improving and we're beginning to love life more on a new level, on a different level. And it's not just about a scale. So if you have a week where you gain a pound, like when I came off of detox, the following week, when I started Ignite, I gained a pound that week. And for a brief moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I gained a pound. And it's crazy because they told me that I likely might gain weight after coming out. It's normal. But no, I was still in that mindset of like, I need to see the weight loss on the scale. And I said, you know what? And I got on video and I talked about the 1 pound weight gain, but how much the 1 pound weight gain, but how much I had gained that week. Like, it didn't matter that I had gained a pound. I was feeding my body food and nutrition, healthy products that are improving my life.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, JoJo put out something about being in an airplane. Like, I wanted to ask you the off scale. the things that have happened other than weight loss, things like that have changed for your life? JoJo posted a while ago about being on an airplane. That impacted me. We're sitting here cheering, crossing the legs is cheering. Sharon, do you have something that you like? I mean, I called Sharon. It's so crazy. Like your desires, what your desires are. Like I said, I never thought in my life that I have a 62-pound child. I carried him for 1.5 miles on my shoulders.
Heck yeah.
And I was like, I just want to go back to that 240-pound moment and say to myself that I was almost in tears to, and say to, yes, you will. Yes, you will. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Those small, to me, at that day, I always go back. It's like I can't get rid of that 240-pound mindset sometimes. And I come back to JoJo and I come back to Sharon and I say, if these are the people that are rooting for me, it doesn't matter.
Heck
What
yeah.
she thought. It matters what you. So it was less about the 1.5 miles, but more about them. I understood for a second that I was no longer trapped by that person. I was trapped, like literally trapped by somebody that I wasn't even with anymore. And that was a huge gain for me that this community had given to me that I can't really describe, but Sharon, if you have something similar, I'd love for you to share.
You know what? For me, what has been so exciting and a numbers on a scale change that I've seen is actually just being able to drop sizes. One of my favorite expressions and one of my favorite videos I've made through this process is I was in Target just shopping with my son, getting some stuff. And I don't even know why I ended up in the clothes section and I threw this pair of jeans in my cart. And I honestly, I don't even know why. I don't even know why I thought I could fit in them, or I don't know what I was thinking, but they were a lone pair of jeans. They had cute sparkles on the butt. And I'm like, oh, these are cute. And I didn't even look at what they were, what size they were or anything. And when I started this, I was at size 20-22. And these jeans, I went in the dressing room and I just put them on and I got them on. There was a size 14. I haven't been a size 14 in 10 years. Seriously, more than 10 years. And I was I zipped them up and I'm like, holy crap. Seriously, I fit in a 14? For me, just dropping the sizes. For me, what that means is I don't have to shop in the plus size section anymore. And you know what? Being free to be able to shop at stores I couldn't shop at before, in sections I couldn't shop at before, is such a huge win. So I made a video in the bathroom and posted it in the Zen group. I think I posted it on my Facebook timeline too. But I was like, oh my God, I fit these jeans.
I remember that.
I can't believe
I remember that. That was.
Because I literally couldn't.
And I'm on the phone with her and I'm telling her, girl, you need to stop wearing those baggy tent clothes that you wear, because everything she would wear to the events would be this baggy tent, I'm hiding myself clothes. And I'm like, you don't have to hide yourself anymore. You need to go put on something tight and see what you look like right now, because you don't know. Yeah. You're still wearing the same baggy clothes. So when she put up that post, I was cheering. Cheryl, you brought up the airplane, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about that. The story that Cheryl's referring to is when I realized that I didn't have to ask the neighbor next to me to borrow their tray, because the trays would come down and hit my stomach and I couldn't get the tray all the way down in front of me. And so when the flight attendant would come through and ask us if we wanted something to drink, I didn't have to just hold my drink the whole time. And I'm already squished into the seat. My thighs are pouring out from under the armrests. And so I'm holding my drink and trying not to squish anybody. And so I would ask, do you mind if I use your tray? So another thing would happen that I would do, and I think that anybody who's overweight or obese can really relate to this, how we make fun of ourselves before anybody else can, because we think that people are thinking bad things about us. So we put ourselves down before others can to make them feel more comfortable. And one thing that I would do on an airplane is I fly Southwest predominantly, and it's open seating, right? There's not assigned seating. So I have my row, the fourth row that I like to sit in, and I need a window seat so I can lean up against the window, squish my body as much as possible up against the window so I'm not intruding on my neighbor's space. And when somebody will always come and sit in that seat, leaving the center seat open, and I would always say to them, Don't worry, nobody's going to sit next to us. Nobody wants to sit next to the fat girl. So you're good. You're good. And generally, if the flight was not full, 90% of my flights would be spent with nobody sitting in that center row, and I wouldn't have to ask about the tray, if I could borrow their tray. I would just use the center one. And so this last flight that I took to Vegas, I was about to ask, it was a full flight. There was a lady sitting next to me, and I was going to ask for her if I could use her tray for my beverage. And I went, well, what if maybe this is going to work? And so I decided to try it. And my tray came down. I had about an inch or two in between me and my tray, and I couldn't believe it. And I also realized that this was the first flight where I hadn't made an excuse for myself being the fat girl on the plane. Like I didn't need to put out that disclosure to make the person next to me feel more comfortable. And my hips weren't aching from the armrest digging into them. But more importantly is what was happening on that level of not needing to make people feel more comfortable by putting myself down anymore.
Yeah.
That's amazing, JoJo.
I think watching, like I'm all up close, like you see, I'm like really intrigued. So I'm like this close to the camera, but no, just when I'm watching those videos, knowing like back at that 240 pounds, like when you were in that dressing room, I could feel it. Like I could literally feel, like I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember that moment too. And like if I could have gotten that dressing room, if I could have dove through my phone and gotten to that dressing room, I would have done it.
You guys were there.
Oh my gosh, it's like nothing. Like there's little wins like that. It can keep you. It's like, oh, this next week I got. It's like this detox week I can do, this thing I can do, this ignite phase, this thrive phase, boom. Like it's every time you get a win, it can keep you holding on for so much longer. And I don't know. Can
I throw something in there too?
Yeah.
These personal stories about these small, non-scale related wins. If you're a distributor with Janess, or if you're thinking about being a distributor with Janess, you really can help people change their lives. Yeah. I believe in this so much, because not just because I've experienced it myself, but there's so many stories of people getting into this and having these moments that change their lives. And you can be a part of that if you're marketing this business. I mean, how cool is that? To me, that's like it's just such a win-win. You can market something where you're creating your own, stream of income, your own business, but you're also legit helping people, changing people's lives. Like these stories are the stories that your neighbor could have if you share this with them. You know what I mean? So that I really feel like that's an important piece of this puzzle. I'm so thankful I've come across Janess because of all these amazing impacts it's had on my life. So remember that when you're thinking about talking to someone about this business or thinking about launching a business with Janess, is what you can do for people. You can help people. If you want an outlet to make the world a better place, this is one. If you want an outlet where you can make a little money and, impact the lives around you, this is it. This is a really great, way to do that. So
would you guys mind if somebody wants to call in and ask a question, get on camera with us?
Bring them on.
If you want to call in right now, the seats are open. If you want to call in, please feel free. I'm going to open the seat. I know somebody was trying to get you in. So if you have questions right now would be a good time. Click the button. We want to see your smiling faces too. Share your stories with us.
Open seat.
You just click on that.
Yep.
If anybody wants to come ask a question or have a comment or
anything like that.
Or you could always type them up in the chat box.
Yep.
If you have any questions about Zen Project 8, about all three of our stories, doing this weight loss, let us know. We're here to answer questions, help you out if you need anything.
Yeah, I just want to take a second and say to you guys, if you don't already know, there are so many people, and myself included, that are watching that are cheering you on, that know what it's like to be close to that position or in that position. And every single win that you share, you must know that there is somebody behind the phone or behind the computer that literally jumps for freaking joy. Like when I see that stuff, like that stuff breaks me down because I know.
You don't know it when you first begin to share because we're so afraid of what other people are going to think of us. So we're afraid to open up and share more vulnerable parts of ourselves. I started my own journey of kind of being a little more transparent about my life and journey because I have a deep belief that as a society, as a civilization, that if we practice more transparency, we can heal this planet through that transparency. And being, opening myself up on this weight loss journey was still scary, even though I'd already been on that journey of sharing other parts of my life publicly. But I did it. I did it afraid. So I encourage you to do it afraid because what I realized was, and what I learned through doing so was, not only did I receive so much love and support from this amazing community, and not only did I attract others to me who were looking for that same love and support and wanted to walk a journey to health with us, but I realized that I was inspiring others to care about themselves more, to love themselves more, and to forgive themselves and to stop judging themselves. Like, we need to stop judging ourselves so much. One of the things I shared that I do, you guys might think this sounds crazy, but Sharon knows about this. I lay in bed at night and I rub my tummy. And I thank my fat for saving my life when I was bad to my body. When I didn't know what I was doing, my fat cells did, and they stored all the toxins that could have hurt my liver and my kidneys, and fat is created for that purpose, to spare your organs so that you can live. Fat saves your life, right? So I stopped this body hatred thing that I was doing, looking in the mirror and despising myself, and started loving it and saying, thank you for saving my life when I was so horrible to both of us. And I totally appreciate what you've done. And now I allow you to be released. I'm going to take it over from here, Yep.
That's amazing. Just, I don't know. If you need positivity, you've got to go to JoJo and share.
Amanda Ruiz has a win. Woo! She broke 200.
Oh my God!
She's officially 198. You go,
That's
girl.
Awesome, Amanda.
If you don't know who Amanda Ruiz is, you need to follow her. This woman is a powerhouse. She's amazing.
She kicks ass.
She does kick ass. Sharon just said ass on black.
I know. Every time Sharon says a word like that, I clap for her.
I'm rubbing off on her. I'll tell you what, I'm rubbing off on her. Amanda, we are so proud of you, girl. Keep rocking it. And Amanda, we are so honored to be working alongside you. Meeting you in Vegas was a true blessing. And I love your spirit. I love your strength. I love your courage. And I love the support that your husband and family give you in your journey.
Amazing.
Man, that rocks. Like, you're blessed.
Yeah, for sure. Amanda is somebody that I'm blessed to know.
She's a rock star.
Yes, she is. She's kicking ass in like every aspect, every way, every way you can.
Such a valuable member of our family, right?
Yeah. Yep.
We love you, girl. Rock it.
So, if you guys don't have anything else, I don't know. I hear my echo.
We're at an hour, We don't want to keep you guys all night.
But thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. If we can maybe go through the detox phase together, the ignite phase together, the thrive phase, I would love to see you guys again. Just know from the very, very bottom of my heart, I absolutely look up to you guys, and I love you guys, and I know everybody on here does the same thing.
Your back, Sharon.
I love you.
We got your back, baby. Your family. And I want to say to anybody watching this, or anybody who has this video shared with them, get with the person. If you like what you heard here, get with the person who either invited you to this broadcast or who showed you the replay of this broadcast, and find out how you can join our community and run this with us. You know what I mean? Let's run together. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to welcome you to the team. We'd love to be a part of your Zen journey.
Yeah, and we are starting another 8-week run on Monday.
Yes.
So let's do this. And we're all in. we're starting another 8-week run. We're starting with Detox, going into Ignite, and then into Thrive. It's an 8-week program.
But
so
you can start anytime.
You can.
You can start anytime.
Let's start now.
I love Sharon. Thank you guys so much. Right?
Awesome.
You guys are rock stars. Love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for your explanation, your expertise. I absolutely adore you guys, as does everyone on here. So thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Love you.
Thanks for setting this up, Cheryl.
Yep, anytime.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you.